All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today we are doing part two of why I started my fitness business, why I really got into being an entrepreneur. And my husband's joining me.
Hello.
So awkward.
Yes.
Just kidding. Okay. Yeah, so my husband Jameison is joining me because I said that I would get his perspective on all of this. And I think that that's really important because it wasn't just me deciding to do this on my own. It was really a lot of discussions that we had that went into this. And I think something that is missed in, all right, when people are talking about this is well, for some people, there is someone else that is supporting them through this process. It's not just like one day you wake up and it's like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Wasn't like that for me, anyways. Um, there were a lot of things that went into this and a lot of discussions that we had and a lot of reasons why this all came to be. So we're going to talk about that today.
Hmm.
Yes. All right. So really, yeah, I guess, what were your thoughts first? Like when I wanted to start my fitness business?
Well, I knew that nursing was being a bit of a drag on your mental health and everything else that was going on. So I I thought it would be a good supplemental thing for you to get into. I know it's something you've always wanted to do. And as long as the money situation is fine, I don't really care about what career you choose to do as long as you do it 100%. I know you're going to do it. So
Hmm.
it's, as long as you had a plan in place and we weren't going to be suffering as a family, I had no problem with it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there were so many things at that time where it was like nursing was not, there were a lot of things that I had gone through in nursing, that I had experienced in nursing, and um something that I didn't say in the other podcast, I have PTSD from things that went on. My experiences in nursing, and that's something that a lot of people don't know. And I know that there's a lot of judgment that, goes into why don't you just stick with the stable career and all of this. But it's like, you don't know the whole story. And also, the way that it was playing out in our lives and for our family just it wasn't what we wanted.
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people who get into nursing as a profession, I don't think they understand what they're actually getting into. There's a lot of stuff, especially hearing from your stories and just like a public perception of things. And I think there's this like, I don't know, fairy tale picture of, oh, the good nurse who's helping out and she's just supporting all the doctors. But in reality, you do a lot more than that. And a lot of pressure comes with that. And for some people, it's just not something you can stick with forever. I mean, the nurses that get into it when they're in their 20s and they're still doing it when they're in their 60s, a lot of them probably aren't working in an emergency room or an ICU or with
Mhm.
trauma all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little different. And I mean, the amount of things that you had to see, especially going through COVID and everything else, I just to me, it made sense to try to find a way to transition out of nursing. I didn't know if it was going to be something that you would completely get rid of, when you first said you want to do this.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good starting point to try to get out of the industry.
Yeah. And I think it's so true. Like you don't see everything that happens, and it is very, it's not glamorized, but it's not, there's a lot of things that we actually aren't technically allowed to say.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
um, and it wasn't even so much what I saw. I did see obviously a lot of trauma and a lot of really fucked up situations being in ICU. Um, there were so many things that went into it and were also going on in our personal lives. And it was the combination of everything that was just so messed up. And working those hours, and I mean, when you looked at it, there were days when I would work multiple shifts in a row, like I wouldn't see the kids.
No. And I mean, just me knowing you and being with you for as long as we've been together,
Do you know how long it is?
12 years, 13 almost.
No.
But
Yeah, 12.
yeah,
Yeah.
completely dumb.
I feel I'm joking. Okay.
Anyway, I've seen like how your personal, how do you call it, like sleeping rhythms and everything else that, like, there's some careers that probably aren't the best for certain people, even if your intention, and I mean, you're really good at being a nurse,
Yeah.
but it's everything that's involved in that. Like, I mean, for some people, yeah, I can go to work for a 12-hour shift, come home, sleep all day, get up, go to work again, kind of thing. It just didn't work in our family.
I did not.
And your, yeah, your health
No.
wasn't, it was going to suffer eventually.
Yeah.
So I knew eventually you were going to not be in ICU or emergency and maybe transition to something different. But
Yeah.
so this was a good first step. And then as long as, I'm still working and we're bringing in money, I didn't really see a problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what has it been like for you? Because I think that this is something that we don't hear either. What has it been like for you supporting someone that wants to be an entrepreneur? Because this isn't like anyone that's listening to this, like, this is not something that everyone does. Like, it's not just,
Right.
everyone doesn't go out and try to start their own
Yeah.
business.
And I mean, um, our relationship's kind of unique in that way is because when we met, you were already going into finish your nursing degree.
Yeah.
And I was thinking at the time maybe of getting back into some schooling and doing something. And I decided, no, I'm not going to do that and just get a job and we'll go with that. But I think with your nursing career, unless I went back to school, you were always going to be the breadwinner in the family. So that's another point that we kind of have to go over when you go, okay, I'm not going to work at nursing
Yeah.
anymore. That takes a lot of salary out, and then it puts pressure on you to bring in that salary that you were previously going to be making. So, I mean, it's tough in that respect. And I mean, having two kids, I can't be working two jobs. You're working like two or three jobs. It just, I know people do it. I'm not saying you can't do it. It's just
Yeah.
not ideal for a family situation. So um, that's probably the hardest part about the whole thing.
Yeah.
But as far as just like working with you to make sure that you're pursuing what you want to pursue and making sure you're not giving up on an idea because, oh, you're not making your huge money month that everybody's telling you you're supposed to be making.
Yeah.
Like I've never believed in that crap. So I just thought stick with it. Eventually it'll come through. I mean, I've listened to lots of people who have started from nothing and or switched careers, and there are no such things as overnight success. You may
Yeah.
think it's an overnight success because you've never heard of these people before, but I guarantee they have been grinding for years before they are famous or successful. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, should I go back? We need the money right now. Like, no, you stick with it, you keep going, and eventually it's going to hit. And I'm in a stable job. We don't have to worry too much. We just have to budget properly, and eventually it'll come through.
Yeah. And I think that that's been like a huge part of this and a huge help for me because a lot of people I think don't have that. They don't have someone who's really supportive of them and who's like actually willing to support them even when it is hard. And like there's times where I'm like, oh shit, like maybe I should pick up a shift or, you know, I don't know if this is, not, I don't know if it's going to work, but I just, I get worried like we all do.
Yeah,
And at the same time, I know also how bad this is what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to do.
yeah,
And
exactly.
so it's huge to have someone that will actually like support you in doing that instead of being like, no, you better go back.
Yeah, and I mean that was the whole thing that kind of why I brought back the start of our relationship is, right then and there, like I said, no, I want to go to college. You already have your degree. You don't need another one.
Yeah.
But like, what? That'd be pretty dickish to do that kind of thing. So I've always kind of, yeah, I've always supported what you
Yeah.
want to do, and
But you could say I
eventually,
was a dick because I went and got my second degree.
well, whatever. I knew it was going to benefit
But
you and together us. So
yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and this is the other thing. Yes, it's hard sometimes when I think about it because there are people that judge, yeah, I have 2 degrees and I don't work in my technical field that I have degrees in.
mhm,
It doesn't mean that all of that education was a waste. There are still so many things that I learned and that I'm able to apply today in business and towards what I'm doing. Yes, like not medical things from nursing in my business, obviously, but especially with my psychology degree, there's a lot of things that I can apply towards business and towards understanding why certain things are happening, why certain people think a certain way, different things like that. Like it's still not like it's just I did that and it was a waste because now I'm doing this.
exactly. Plus, working in a nursing field, especially in an ICU, um, what you're going to do is you are always going to have that ability to know what to do quickly. I got to do this without even thinking.
Hmm.
And that critical thinking can work anywhere in life, especially in a business
Yeah.
where you may be thinking of something completely different than what one of your clients is going to be doing. And they may not even come up with that solution because they're just not in that same frame of mind. So I think no matter what type of education you have, you can always apply it to another field.
Yeah.
It's just, especially with all the learning and all the information that you have to keep in your head and just know what to do all the time. People's lives are on the line.
Yeah.
Building a website and doing other things, I think you can handle it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I should be able to.
Yeah.
I've saved a few lives,
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
mean, I should be able to handle building a website. It should be
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think to say that somebody who put, I don't know how many years of college did you go through? 6?
No, it ended up because I didn't I kind of changed at the beginning when I was doing my psychology degree. I changed a little bit. And so it ended up being a total of closer to probably 9.
Yeah. So if you're going to put that much effort into getting a degree and you decide to change a career, it's not like you're going to just be like, well, maybe I'll sell a bunch of stuff this month and hope it pans out. You've put in so much work and so much effort into that side of it. You're going to apply that to the next career, especially if it's something you
Yeah.
actually want.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe it's not the traditional stable work.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not something that you can go, well, I'm going to make this and that paycheck's coming in every month and we can, but it also, because you have that within you and you have that drive, I know that you are going to have some bigger months
Yeah.
and you are going to be able to bring in money. And who knows, maybe eventually it will be something where it's just every month we know exactly what we're getting.
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid that you're just going to be like, well, I got my business now. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you just thought of this.
No. No.
So,
Yeah.
and that's another reason why I do support
Yeah.
what you're doing, because I know you're not going to take it lightly and you're actually going to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been very planned out, and I do work hard to make sure that it does actually work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So another part of this that I did want to ask you about, because I think that this is very interesting. Um, Jameson does not go on social media. Like, he listens to podcasts and stuff,
Yeah.
but
I used to be a big Twitter follower.
yeah,
I never posted tweets. Didn't
you're not
see
that
any
guy.
point in getting into arguments with who knows bots and 13-year-olds. So I decided I've had enough of this. So I just closed my account. I've closed Facebook a long time ago.
Yeah.
I have Instagram just to like have it, but I never go on it really.
Sometimes you look at my stories if I tell you
Sometimes
to.
I used to all the time, and then I was like, I live with you. I know what's going on.
I know. You're usually there sometimes when I post stories, so you know what they say.
But yeah, like um, I still know what's going on in the world. I listen to tons of, up to date podcasts. I watch news. I read a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I just think social media is it's a cesspool of just people trying to bring each other down for the most part. So I know that businesses have to use it,
Yeah.
but I think it would be a lot better if you had to put your name on it and you're not going to say the things to people face to face, or if they know where you are or they know who you are, if you can just hide behind an avatar. So
Yeah.
to me, it's never been something that I thought was a smart idea, and that's why I don't partake in it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I think it's interesting though, because I will show you things that are on social media, and just from like an outsider's perspective, because, for those of us who are in like the online industry, I guess, and know about, the coaching industry and all of these things, we're familiar with the things that are said and the things that go on. And so I will show you some of the things.
yeah,
And what is your
it
thoughts on that?
makes no sense. I'm like, why do people first of all, I don't understand if you're scrolling through and you think you're going to make a business for yourself, why you would be interested in listening to some, I don't want to be discriminating, but
Yeah,
um,
don't do that.
okay. You're going to listen to somebody who is clearly showing their more glamorous side, I would say, and trying to tell you that, oh, you don't need to do this or that. You're going to make $5,000, $10,000. All you got to do is just follow me and I'll tell you, but you got to pay me first. It's a secret. I'm the only one who knows how to unlock this.
That's not discriminated, and that's just the truth.
No, but I mean, the way the women are presented for the most part. There
Yeah.
are some men that I've seen do that too. Obviously, in the fitness industry, I see it a lot. And it's ridiculous. Like I could see why people might get sucked into at least looking at it. But once you listen to like 5 minutes of these people, you know it's just a scam.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's so obvious that these people are so desperate for business, and I don't understand how people can get sucked into it. But then you're like, well, there's so many of them, and
Yeah.
it's always out there, and they're getting all these followers, and I'm like, but if people are following those kind of people, to me, I don't want anything to do with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not saying you're all bad if you follow those people and because you obviously um, kind of got hooked into that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I had some experiences.
I just thought, well, why would you do that? But I wasn't on the day-to-day process of everything you were hearing and what you were doing.
Yeah.
And I know you're a smart person, so I know it can happen.
Yeah.
But to me, I would just go, no, I'm not doing this. And just see you later, scroll up.
Yeah.
Like when I'm looking for some hard truth or information about, wanting to get into anything, I'm going to look at multiple different avenues. I'm not going to go on social media. It's the first place I'm not
Which
going
is
to go.
so interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to listen to a podcast,
Hmm.
maybe get some information that way. I'll go on websites. I'll look at multiple points of view.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just be sucked into something
Hmm.
like that. Now I'm also 45 years old and I've seen a lot of stuff. And when I was in my 20s, I probably would have been sucked into it. So I understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just think it's such an interesting perspective because there's things that I'll tell you about and you're just like, what in the hell? Or I'll show you different things and you're like,
I just don't understand how
yeah.
they're popular or they're actually selling products
Yeah.
for a ridiculous amount of money and they're not showing any results.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Yeah. I just think it's a very interesting way to look at it from someone that is not immersed in the
Yeah, I don't understand
online industry.
online coaching at
Yeah.
all, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think you do a good job at what you do.
Yeah.
It's not really coaching as much. Like
Yeah.
you definitely do coach and help, but like some of the stuff that's out there is just like seems like a big waste of time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't understand how they're so profitable because to me, those people are going to be fly by night businesses. Yeah, they might make a lot of money, but that's not
Yeah.
sustainable.
No.
It's not because eventually somebody's going to find them out and they usually do. And then you're going to have to keep finding suckers all the time. I wouldn't want to do that, but hey, whatever. It's scripted and you're making money. Go ahead. Not something I'd be proud of, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
And now you know why we've been together for 12 years, where I get my honesty from and why we can have a long relationship.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Ooh.
Not my own. It's nothing. It's not that like exciting. Okay, so what differences can you tell in me once I was be able to leave nursing and become a full-time entrepreneur?
Oh, well, first of all, energy level was much better
Yeah.
because you're not walking around like a zombie after 2 or 3 shifts in a row of 12 hours. And it's not just like, oh, I'm going behind a desk for 12 hours. It's like hard work where your brain has to be working.
Yeah.
So obviously that was big. You were able to spend more time with everyone, which is nice, obviously, about
Hmm.
spending time with you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And I would say just your attitude and your mood. I mean, there are days where it's hard or you're, worried about money or whatever, but for the most part, it's not like that stress level isn't there. Like it's clearly was lifted when you
Hmm.
stopped going in all the time.
Yeah.
And then even like doing a shift or two shifts a month, it was like the worst day of the month. It was just
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's what everybody wants to do, right? You can
Yeah.
clearly see it when you're doing something you love doing,
Yeah.
your mood's going to improve, everything's going to work better.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference to me is mood, energy, and just being able to, spend time, there's no more like I got to go to work every day before the kids go to school, and you can easily get them to school. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say it's up to the kids a little bit in that regard, but
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Our kids aren't the greatest at actually going to school
I
or
blame
getting up
I blame the
to
mornings on
get
you.
to school. They're not on, that's not
That's
me.
your trait, and that's why they are like
Yeah,
that.
I do suck in the morning. I am not a good morning person. I
Yes,
will say that. Yeah, okay. They get that from me.
yeah,
That is true. I will take that.
but at
That's
least
true.
you're home and you can do it, and then you can come home and you can work,
Yeah.
which is not something that was ever going to be possible nursing.
No,
So
no.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's so much better being able to
Yeah.
do this. And the thing is, when people talk about, setting up their own business and what they really want out of it,
Yeah.
obviously you want to make money. And if you can make more money than you were making, that's fantastic. Sometimes it's not always about that.
Yeah.
Being able to drive the kids to school or pick them up if they're sick or do
Yeah.
things like that, it prevents me from having to come home or you from having to come home,
Yeah.
use a sick day. You're saving money that way. You're
Yeah.
not spending as much money on gas because you don't have to drive into the city every day. It's all kinds of things that you actually can save and not have to worry about it. You
Yeah.
can write off a lot more things. So, getting into your own business or working from home shouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to make so much money. It should be about all the other little things that
Hmm.
help. And then if you're good at it and you're passionate about it
Yeah.
and you can actually focus and do your work instead of being stressed out by doing other things,
Yeah.
you're going to make money.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's going to happen. And like I said, it's not going to be overnight.
Yeah.
You might have an amazing month and then the next 3 months might suck.
Yeah.
It's just something you're gonna have to deal with and eventually hopefully get to a steady place. But it's
Hmm.
not like, oh no, we've been struggling, quit, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
No, not if you actually want to have a business
Yeah.
because
It's a
that's not how it
lot of
works.
work, but
Yeah.
it's worth it, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are days when you have to work hard and you're
Yeah.
working up to 7 o'clock at night and
Yeah.
I make supper and you come down and the kids have eaten already and
Yeah.
we have to do that sometimes. Sometimes you got to work on the weekend,
Yeah.
but these magical coaches with their, oh, you just work a couple hours a day and
I
stick
know.
with me, kid, you'll go far.
No,
That's
no,
bullshit.
it is. I know. And it's funny because even with what I do, with the systems and the automations and all of that, I do work really hard. And it's not because I don't have these things in place. It's because when you have a business, bottom line, you do have to work. You do have to work hard. And also, the way that my business is structured, I also have client work that I have to
Hmm.
be doing, which cannot be automated. So I have to be doing that myself. But to run a business, I mean, you can't do that on, or it's very hard to do that on 2 hours a day. It is. However, it does also give you the freedom to do so many other things. Like you were saying, I can drop the kids off at school. I can pick them up. I can be there when they're sick, and they have been sick so many goddamn times. I can't even tell you. Like, can't even. Oh my God. And, you know, it allows us to actually work with these things and for both of us to still be working and still be making money and still be making this work.
Yeah.
But when I was nursing, like there's no way if I
Mm.
got a call from the school, I wouldn't have been able to leave. I probably wouldn't have even seen it come through my phone because I mean, most of the time I can't look at it if I'm working
Yeah.
it or if I was working at the
And
hospital.
if I have any calls, it's almost impossible for me to just stop.
Yeah.
So this makes it a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Like that.
Yes. All right. Well,
That's all
thanks.
you have for me today?
I guess that's it. Do you
Hmm.
want to say anything else?
Hmm. I don't know. I think I've said enough.
Okay. Maybe I'll have you come back sometime.
Yeah,
We'll
maybe.
see how people like you. They want you to, if they request for you to come back.
How can you not?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it for today.
That's it.
Like and
Bye.
subscribe.
Yeah. Do everything.
Do all the things. 5 stars for the podcast. Let us know how you liked this episode. And I'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.